that's what I pretty much do every Thursday. I get here and I just share bits and pieces of my life and the things that I've been through or the things that I've discovered. And this week, on top of that racist situation that took place, I've been hit with at least 4 or 5 people that are going through some really rough times. And like I do sessions. I do private sessions with people, for an hour and a half once a week with people, and I hear their stories, and I hear the things that are causing them problems in their marriage, or problems in their relationships, or the rough times that they're going through because they broke up with someone. Being able to move forward is a bit of a hang up for most of us. It takes me back to that question about, have you cried for someone that that wasn't right for you, but God removed them from your life? Because you had these images, you had these thoughts of what can possibly be with that person. And and even though you might have had red flags, and you still pushed past them to really connect your heart to the person that, even though they wasn't right for you, but you were ready for some form of love, of a connection, of a future with someone who had elements about them that really cared for you. Um, but now it's over. Now that relationship's over. How do you deal with it? How do you speak about it with other people? Um, how do you try to keep it real for yourself? And how do you deal with the emotions? Like, what do you do with all the repeating thoughts? Like, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, I really, really should have answered this way. Or, man, if I didn't do that, maybe this wouldn't be the situation that we're in. And, all these things come to mind, and one was someone really close to me going through a breakup. And she in the beginning, I guess it was last week when she broke up with the person, and the guy broke up with her. Your first few days, you're kind of in shock because it was a quick dump. I don't want to go through the details of her private situation, but it was a quick dump, and she's in shock. She's in shock and now trying to figure out, well, if you didn't choose me over whatever the other thing that you chose, I should be happy. I should be able to let you go and to move forward. I should be able to quickly say, well, because you didn't choose me, I would never want to be someone's second choice. Because you didn't choose me, I should be able to grab my mind, my emotions, and just move forward. No, it doesn't work that way, especially when you got to the place in your heart where you saw a future with that person, when you saw marriage with that person, when you saw that this person could possibly be the one for you. Now, mind you, you could have still pushed past the red flags that the person's not right for you. We're talking about your heart connected to someone, whether they're right for you or not right for you. What do you do with those emotions that had you to that place, or got you to the place where you believe that that person is is yours? What do you do with all those emotions? So she was early on talking about, oh, she could move on, and family members are talking to her like, yeah, just move on, and this person wasn't right for you. You were the light in their life, and all that stuff. So she thought that she had it. Well, she gave me a phone call to share what she was going through, and I shared with her, understand that it's going to come, the emotions are going to come with ebb and flow. They're ebbing and flowing. Sometimes you're going to be like, okay, I can definitely do this, and I'm casual about this. You can always start looking at other people and saying, yeah, they're sexy. I can start trying to talk to that one. You can start to bounce that stuff around in your head. That's when you're casual. But then you could go right from that place of just checking someone out and possibly walking up to them and trying to start a conversation to hurt. hurt with tears, hurt with pain, hurt with like I can't eat a dang thing. Like you're really dealing with the ebbing and flowing. And luckily that she reached out to me when it happened, that I was able to share the phrase with her, the ebbing and flowing of her emotions, that from that point on, when she started to feel the rage or feel the disappointment, to be filled with tears, she reached out to me again, and I became the source of someone that was able just to share my story, of feeling like I'm in love and the situation doesn't work out. I've been in love with a few people. Um, well, I'm talking genuine love, but the one where it felt like I could have had a future with this person, even though I knew early on the person wasn't right. So I was able to meet her at a place of understanding, and I started to say, well, the things that you're going to share with me, understand there's going to be that ebb and flow. So you might be in this moment in a place by you can move forward, or you're in a place of deep sorrow, tears, like I can't eat a thing. I'm balled up in bed, and I can't function. Those things are very real. Those things are super real. But I was able to tell her that feel good about these moments. Feel good about the fact that you can love and care for someone so deeply. Not everyone has that ability. Not everyone has that ability to get to the place where they're absolutely in love with someone, and they would actually value the other person's life and well-being and safety over your own. That's where you can get when it comes to love, and that's where you would want to be when you're in love. So I had to remind her that don't kick yourself for feeling this way. Don't get mad at yourself for seeing yourself as stupid, or like you're begging, or you're a loser. No, I mean rejection freaking sucks. It freaking sucks. But you heard me talk about this before. Sometimes rejection is just simply a redirection. Rejection is a redirection, redirecting you to something that's going to be better. Because imagine if you could feel this way about someone that wasn't right for you. Imagine what it's going to feel like when you find that person that is right for you, or that person finds you. You never know, you know? Um, but I was able to meet her. I was able to meet her at her place of pain, and was able to share with her about, without ever saying letting go, without ever saying the words that you should let go. Because if you ever do, you'll probably enjoy this. If you ever do a session with me, if you ever choose to do, I will never, ever, ever tell you what to do. I will simply share my life, share my perspectives, share my discoveries with you, and you will have to pick through the stuff, and you will have to decide what you want to hold as true or what you're going to cast to the side. That is completely up to you. But the benefit of meeting with someone, the benefit of going to someone to share your heart with them, is that you will receive new perspectives to choose from. That definition of insanity is keep doing the same things, expecting different outcomes. If you only have your information, if you only have the way you see it, the way you're used to it, and the way your comfort or your culture teaches you, if you only have access to that, you will continue to repeat the same cycle. Remember, the very best of you right now that you're presenting is who you've been around and what you believe in. All that's now. So when you go through a rough time, don't keep it bottled in. Talk to someone about it, someone that you trust, that will not judge you, nor tell your business to other people. You want to be able to tell your business, you want to share your heart, because you're looking to gain other perspectives. You're looking to gain different viewpoints on your situation. Like, should you actually be feeling the way you feel? And how long do I need to feel this way for it to be real to you? Like these are weird questions that come up in your mind. These are or normal questions, not weird. They're normal questions that come up in your mind. That whole yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda, that repeating thing over and over in your head about stuff you're dealing with. It's so very real. But you also have to understand that the way you see the world isn't the truth about how the world is and what's the truth about a situation. It is merely just your perspective. Your beliefs is simply the story you keep telling yourself about a particular thing based on what you've been through or what someone else told you. So if it came from other imperfect and limited people like yourself, imperfect and limited in information people, you gotta also believe that there is information out there to be gained, to get. There's information out there for you to get that will allow you to see your situation in a different light, possibly in a better light, in a more realistic light, where it would allow you to lighten the load, to lighten the load. But remember, going through pain in a relationship breakup is not a negative thing. It's just not. Because you have given yourself to the place that you are vulnerable, that you love, you absolutely love, and you had these thoughts that no longer are going to take place because the person is no longer with you. That's a rough pill to swallow, especially if you saw a future. Now, mind you, it doesn't matter if they were right for you or wrong for you. If you've given your heart to them, it's hard to break those ties. It's hard. It's hard to break those ties because you feel like they belong to you, and you're more than happy to say that you belong to them. And it's not easy. So, in order for you to actually get to the place where you could move forward, or simply let go, it's you sharing, it's you offloading, it's you seeing the value in yourself. People reminding you of your greatness, or if you're a believer, someone reminding of you about the God in Christ in you, or if you're into the universe, or if you're into other religions, if you're into these a higher power. Let me just simply say, if you're into the higher power, what does your higher power say? You want to surround yourself with people that will remind you of who you truly are, no matter how you feel in this moment. Who you truly are is beautifully and wonderfully made. You know, the person that can do all things with the right believing and with the right work behind it. You could accomplish great and amazing things. You know, and it always starts and ends with you. How you're feeling and what you're dealing with is how you, it starts with how are you viewing yourself, and you can start looking over things later on, later on down the line. Was it things that I ignored? You want to do that work. You want to do that work because when it's time for you to move forward, you would you would hope that you have learned enough things in this redirection, that you have learned enough things in this redirection that you no longer do some of the things that got you to the place that you're at now. Now, if you're of the mindset that you believe you did everything right, no one's perfect. There's absolutely nothing perfect in the flesh. Fallouts happen. No one does everything perfectly because so many of us are defining actions, words, body languages based on what we think is right. And we do not set the standard for the whole entire world. My opinions, my feelings toward things do not set the standard for the whole entire world. Nope. The other person is not me. So they're not thinking the way I'm thinking at the same time, feeling the same way about particular things at the same time as me, or do things in a timely fashion that works for me. No, the other person's not me. So they have a whole different set of rules that they're working with. But Lord, if you keep those lines of communications beautifully and open, like your place and your connection with that person feels like a safe place for them to share, you keep that alive, you will gain perspectives just from that one person alone being in your life. Good, bad. Remember, when you're involved with people, they will either teach you what to do or what not to do. So you want to glean from it all. And when they do things wrong or throw you off, ask yourself the question before you get really, really, really pissed off, even though they might do this thing over and over again. You know, are they doing it out of malice? Are they doing it out of disrespect for who you are? Because if it's not with a great disrespect for who you are, or out of malice, it's just a matter of how you communicate, how they see things going, or how you receive things because of what you've been through, and why they do things because of what they've been through. And that's where discussion comes in. That's probably one of the reasons why so many organizations talk about wait for sex till after marriage, that concept of waiting, because you want to spend time simply as talking as your only outlet to get to know the other person. Now, whether you believe in premarital sex or don't believe in it, that's a whole nother topic in itself. But the catch is that if sex is removed from the situation where it's no longer a distraction, now all you have is your conversation, where you really get to know the person, where you really get to hear the things that are going on in mind, where you get to see where you interact with a person and you're not always simply just, you know what I'm going to say, bumping body parts. You're not simply bumping body parts. You're actually getting to know the person, and can they speak to you? Can they share their thoughts? Do they have the actual ability to love you? Other than the physical attraction, because if you just get caught up in that, you're like rabbits. All you're doing is thinking about when we get together, we're going to do this. But what about the conversation? What about finding out the quality of the person? How do they treat their parents? How do they speak to their mother? How do they keep their house? You don't pay attention to all that stuff because your head is in cloud nine and euphoric and all those endorphins and stuff, dopamines are just firing off, and you're just in la la land, like, oh, I'm just so happy to be here. Now, how do you break from that if that's your habit? It's hard. You're not. So, but you have to be in control of yourself. Remember, your spirit controls your thinking. You keep your thinking in subjection to your spiritual mindset, and you keep your body in subjection to your mindset, to your thoughts. Your your spirit controls your mind, and your mind controls your body. But when your body feels a particular way, especially if you're used to a thing, your body wants to take control. Yes, it wants to take control. But so how do you deal with all that? How do you get to the place where you can actually move forward? And that's the part that's hard. It's moving forward is simply just getting to a place where it doesn't hurt so much that you can no longer function. That you're That's what moving forward is. Sometimes it's simply just a step, taking a step. Even if you take a couple of steps and you fall flat on your face, remember, falling flat on your face still means you're moving forward, which is a good thing, especially if you know that it's over. If you know that it's something that in truth, even if it came back together, that the person dumping you, you're always going to hold it against them. You're always going to hold that situation against them. So either if you don't, falling forward. Yes, exactly. If you think that if you can't deal with the pressure of it, if you feel that you can't get to the place where it's just getting just real tight around your chest, where you have these panic attacks, where you deal with anxiety, um, trust a friend. Understand that when you offload with a person that genuinely cares, your higher power is going to direct them to say and do particular things that are just going to take care of your heart for that particular moment. Will it come back later? Most likely, yes. But in that particular moment, don't isolate yourself, is what I'm trying to say. To move forward, yes, you can remove yourself from some of the things that you would normally do in order to gather your thoughts and thinking. But I always share with my friends that the isolation is the devil's playground. When you isolate yourself from your people, from your family, when you close yourself off, shut down, you only have your thoughts. And in your place of hurt, you ain't thinking positive things. You're hurting. You're not thinking positive things. So you're thinking all types of madness over and over and over and over again. So you gotta find a place of release. You gotta find a place of release and trust that it is better for people to know than not know. You're like, well, people don't need to know about my business. Oh, yes, they do. How about that? Yes, they do. And if you're lucky enough to have your parents, some parents are not best for this situation, but if you think that they are, talk to them. Because, like I talk about my daughter, I says, no one's going to love my daughter more than me without expecting or trying to manipulate her to get something from her. I just simply love my daughter. So when I share things with her, it's coming from a place of I'm not trying to get anything out of you. I'm just trying to have you gain more information about a situation that you can access if you so choose. Because you can't make anyone do anything. And if you think you can, you got a problem there, buddy. You do. Because you can't even control a little kid. You can't make them do anything. You could threaten them, but if they really don't want to do it, even your threats won't make them do it. So the question is, can you trust someone in your state of hurt to to guide you through? Two are better than one. People talk about marriage and relationships. One of the benefits to being with someone is that someone else can point out your blind spots. Everyone has blind spots. Everyone has blind spots in your life. If your blind spots are what we talk about when you drive a car and you have all those mirrors, because the mirrors help you see those blind spots that you just don't catch with your peripheral vision or even quickly looking back. So the other person points out things that you do, the things that you say, the habits that you have that you might not realize you're doing. Yes, everyone has habits that they don't fully realize that they do. That's what friends are for. That's what real friends are for. See, real friends are there to tell you what's up. I have a friend that always talks about giving two slaps. If I ain't making sense or I'm getting all emotional about something, I have a friend that say I'll give you two slaps to set you straight. That's right. And I also have friends to just simply remind me about who I really am and the impact that I have on the world around me because of the love that I have for people and life and the way that I deal with situations. So how do you actually move forward? It's simply just taking steps, putting yourself back in situations around people. People are healers. Yeah, they're also the ones that hurt. That song by Jonathan McReynolds, People, listen to the words. They are the best and the worst that you've created, God. People are the best and the worst that you have created because who we are today and how we see the world around us and the hangups that we have or the insecurities are all based on situations. And a lot of those situations have to do with people. Poor treatment or good treatment or spoiled treatment. You can treat someone well so well or over the top well that they don't really have a realistic viewpoint on how life really is. You know? So all that comes into play. So moving forward is daring to share your business with someone around you with the belief that God is going to guide them. Your higher power is going to guide them in ways that will allow your heart to heal to recover, to learn lessons from the things that you have been through, and and in time, it will also get you to the place where you can then look back at the situation and see what part you played in the breakup. What did you allow? Why didn't you stop if you knew that those particular behaviors wasn't something that you could really deal with? But that's somewhere down the line, because you know when you go through a breakup, you're so caught up in the victim mentality, all the things that they did wrong to you, and the hero, how wonderful you are and how amazing you are, the things that you have done to prove, to support, and to back up and to encourage. Your mind is so stuck there, your mind doesn't see the treacherous person that you also are. We all have it. We all have it because we so want to blame the other person because that just seems like it's more comfortable, but it's not true. Everyone has something. Everyone has something. Excuse me. Everyone has situations that they don't deal with correctly or best. So how do you deal with it? Is this get yourself around people, letting go is getting yourself back to the place where you can function without the severe pain of the person no longer being in your life. You know, and like I said, people are the answer. Getting around people are the answer, and trusting that God or your higher power is going to lead you to people that will help you see perspectives and help you to see truths about your situation or yourself that will allow you to move forward more confidently, you know. But understand it's real. You can go a whole entire year thinking you got it down pat, and all of a sudden that person makes himself available to you, and you can see yourself completely wrapped up in all those emotions once again. So you got to give yourself time, give yourself the okay to mess up, to feel the pain, and to make bad choices. You know, you can believe that all things will work together for good. So even if you keep messing up, that you can believe in time that you'll be guided and directed to things that are better for you. You know, like how do you view the next day? How do you view your next day? Are you cheerful when you wake up in the morning? Are you looking forward to the things that you have to do